Good afternoon, everyone. This is ChartSync here. Today is March 24th, 2025, where we do live technical analysis on all the boomer coins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, and XRP. Today we're focusing on Bitcoin though. So before the live stream, I went ahead and I drew out some support and resistance levels on the monthly, weekly, and daily. So I'm going to put those on screen for here. Put those on screen here, and it's going to look a little messy for a second. So here we go. That's what we're looking at. And just to clear things up, weekly, when you see an R, obviously that's resistance. When you see S, that means support. When you see an R and then an arrow pointing to an S, that means that this was a previous resistance level, right? Like right here. That's what this is. And since price is already above it, we're looking to see if that flips support. So that doesn't mean that it's flipped into it yet, because if it already flipped into support, I would just mark it as a support level. So just wanted to clear that up. This was just an example. When you see R to S, that means it was resistance. We're above it, and it might flip to support. Inversely, do I even have one here? Looks like I don't have one here. Okay, the inverse would also be the same. So if this was like, if we had a support level up here and we were below it, I would wait to see if this actually flips into a resistance. Or actually, sorry, there's like 3 of them up here. My bad. So these S to R, that means that these were support levels before that we broke through, and that there's strong potential that they will become resistance areas. And we got a few of them clustered up here. So just so you know, and then the colors, I use a dark gray line for the monthly. I use the orange for the weekly and the yellow for the daily. So these are just the most recent. We're currently on the daily time frames. You can see up here, this is Bitcoin USD pair on Bitstamp. So this is, going all the way back to November when we ranged here for a long time, came down here. And then this is aptly named the Nothing Burger resistance level. That was the crypto summit at the White House, which was basically 17 minutes of people just, kissing the ring and whatever. So anyways, that's the Nothing Burger, and it is a resistance level. So let's zoom back in a little bit here. Oops. I do this all the time. Please forgive me. I always accidentally leave my brush tool active, and then I do a bunch of dumb stuff as a result. So here we go. So these are the support and resistance levels for the monthly, weekly, and daily. So let's look at the volume here. So there was a lot of volume over here, especially around the Nothing Burger. But if you look, volume has been going down as price has been going up. It's worth noting, right? We also have this kind of rising channel right here. If you guys can see this. So this is a bullish. Let me move this up here out of the way. This is a bullish thing when we have a big move downward like that. Let me make this line thicker so you can just see it through all the mess. We have a big move down like that, and then you start making a higher high, or you make a high, you make a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And we're currently making a higher high, especially if we close today above, let's just say above 87. Yeah, if we close above 87.5, I would confirm that as a higher low, because that's where the 87.5 is about where this candle wicked. Even though it closed right here, we should be consistent with whether or not we're using candles or wicks. In this case, just to, err on the side of caution for my own, personal trading strategy. If I see a small wick like this, I like to see a close above it. It makes me feel better about the higher high. So anyways, let's mark this out. Oops. It's not what I wanted to do, TradingView. TradingView doesn't like me, by the way. So let's do this again. So let's get our line tool out, draw another line right here. See, and all right. And this is the channel I am looking at right here, right? Did I do this? No, okay, I'll bring it down. I obsess over details like this, sorry. So that's roughly what the channel looks like. And the channel, if we're marking it from right here, which, you know, that technically is where it fell down from, though we could, and we actually probably should. Let's redo this line actually, because this is not a good line. Is it this one? Yeah, let's get rid of that. Let's draw another one. Let's do this right. Okay, so we had this come all the way down here. So it's just this big move downward, right? Let's do it. Let's do it at the bottom of this wick right here. So we had this big move downward. It's broken up above here. If we break up above this line, which is also, we have, this is resistance level. So this level right here, if price breaks and closes, not just wicks, but actually closes on the daily or above 90,000, then that would confirm a bigger move upward. This would be a breakout. And see if we measure, that would be a breakout up to above, you know, which this might actually be the catalyst we need to get above 94,000, which is a huge resistance level. And in order for us to really confirm that the bull trend is going to continue upward, we have to break above 94,000. Until we break above 94,000, we're still in a short-term, you know, downward trend. You know, if we continue to come down right here, then that would be another lower high here, lower high here, lower high there. Not good, at least for the short to medium term. So let me get rid of these lines here. So that's just that one channel. If you want to trade patterns, that's a pattern I'm looking at. If you look at it on the 4-hour, you can see that same pattern right there, just in better resolution. Let me get rid of these lines for you. So here's the channel right here, right there, and then right there. So, you know, if we're staying in this channel and, you know, we range down here, then we could bounce off what would be the support around 86,000, like in a few days. That would mean the rising channel continues. Anyways, let's get away from the rising channel. Let's bring back the support and resistance, see what other kind of confluence we could find here. Go back to the daily chart. So let's draw out a fib. See if we can get a resistance fib. I'm going to put on my magnet tool for the Fibonacci, and I'm going to go from this candle down to here. Okay. Should we do the wicks? Yeah, that's the wicks actually. So let's do the, you know what, let me start over. All right, so let's do the top of this wick down to the bottom of that wick, and these are going to mark out our resistance fib levels. So we're kind of like in this area right here. I believe this is where, yeah, current price is right here around 80. Wow, is it really at 88,000 right now? No. Wow, okay. So if this is where price is at right here, that means we've broken out of the golden pocket, and there's a chance we could retrace and come back down here. Because we're seeing a decrease in volume as price is going up, that would lead me to believe we're going to come back down a little bit. And remember, this is a resistance fib, so none of these, at least the lines in the fib that I drew out, these ones going just in the left to right in view right here, those are only resistance levels. Those would not act as support. We would have to draw out a different fib for that. So, all right, so we have this level right here. This is the golden pocket area, and it's right there at about this level of resistance. So we're hovering, see, about, this is a really good level to mark right here. So this 86.8 level is also the golden pocket. And so if we can come back above the 786 right here, which is $89,373 or $334 to be exact, we would like to see it come up here. If it does come up to here, I would say I would lean more towards taking a short position unless we see a massive spike in the volume. But if volume stays at roughly about this level or goes down even a little bit, this would be, in my opinion, a good place to take a short just based on what we've seen so far. But let's look at some more indicators. If we got tools, we should use them. So let's just hide these for a sec so we can get a clear picture of what's going on here. So let's look at the Bollinger Bandwidth percentile. I have these favorited, but I think most, if not all of these, but most of these are free. You can get them on TradingView. So Bollinger Bandwidth percentile is one of my top probably 5, 6, 7 indicators that I like to use. So let's check that out real quick. So it's coming down here. It's not at the 0 level yet, but it might be soon, which means that it's, you know, we had this move right here. You know, we would have expected this to, because of all these blue lines, we would have expected it to go up, but it didn't. It came down. Again, this could have been due to both fundamentals and things that were going on in the news. So hanging out down here, that means, you know, probably a little more uptrend. I would look for, you know, this line, this bottom bluish line, because it's already changed direction, to cross over that line. If that line crosses that line, then I'll just get rid of that. If that happens, then we would look for it to hit that 786 level, which, like I said, is also, actually, no, there's no other lines I've drawn there yet. So coming up to the 786, I would look for short unless there's again, like I said, a huge spike in volume. But if it stays at about this level or even comes down, then I would look for a short if it hits the 786. Might even be a good limit order. Again, not financial advice. Don't make any financial decisions based on me. This is just what I look at. Trading is an art. I get it wrong often, and I also get it right. But I mean, these, you know, learn how to make your own decisions. I'm just showing you my thought process and what I do. So let's get rid of these again real quick. So let's look at another indicator. Let's look at the EMA, see where the EMA is at. And it's a little too fancy. I want to keep this simple. Let's just go to the standard EMA here. And that is too many ribbons here. So let me just fix this real quick. So I want to get rid of the I don't want to see the 2, the 4, the 6, or the 8. What I do is I want to see the 21 here, the 55 here, and there's many different ways you could use the EMA. This is just one of the standard ones I like to use. A lot of people like to use Fibonacci, which is good. There's other ones out there that I'm sure are decent, but this is the one that I use a lot. So we see that let's see, the yellow one is the 21 that crossed over the 55. Both of them crossed over the 100, and it looks like we're getting, if we look closely here, it looks like the 21 is bouncing. So it looks like, you know, we might be finding support right here. I wouldn't consider the EMA bullish until this orange line and this yellow line have crossed back over this light red line. So if I just go down to the 4 hour, we could see that it actually, where were we at? So it actually broke down all the way down here, and these lines have been staying under. So if you look at it is starting to come back up. The 21 is leading the charge. It looks like the 51 is going to come right behind it, break that 100 EMA line for resistance, and then hopefully we'll be back up of here. So let's go back to the daily. And let's just we can just get rid of that for now. And let's see, what else should we draw out here? Subcoder. Those are my. So let's look at stochastics. Stochastics, look at that. So what we do have here is a divergence that has already played out, I think, or is playing out right now. So, all right, let me turn my magnet tool off. Try that again. So we had this high right here. See, that's a lower high in price. But if you looked, the RSI was just below that 80 line and came above it and made a higher high. So I think in the short term, over the next couple days, that indicates a move upward, if I'm not mistaken. So we have the RSI pointing bullish. We have the BBWP, which could be pointing bullish if it crosses over that line. Volume is going down, so that's not really necessarily bullish, but price could still go up a little bit. And then, let's see, let me get rid of the volume here. And this isn't a double bottom. Some people get confused with this. So if this was a double bottom, this low right here would have been lower than this. So for a double bottom, you typically want price to come down like this, come up, come down. but then make a higher low. And then that would be the double bottom for a move upward. But that's not a double bottom, right? It's not what we're seeing right here. Just wanted to throw that out there. I've seen a few people recently get confused on the double bottom, double top. Double top would be the opposite. A double top is like you make a high, right? And then, you know, it comes up again, makes a lower high, and starts to come down. If it breaks this line right here, right, then that's definitely a big move downward. So remember, double top has to be a lower high, and a double bottom has to be a higher low, not a lower low. Get rid of these lines. So bring these back out again. I think this is a good, as of today, this is a good strategy here. I do this with the lines all the time. I need to stop. Okay. So again, we have this 786 level. We have this rising channel coming off a big move downward. We have the stochastic RSI lines are just about to cross on the daily EMA ribbons. It looks like the 21 level is finding support on the 200-day level, and the 55 may be finding a bounce as well. All bullish stuff, not hugely. I do think we probably still go just in the long term, I think we probably still kind of go sideways and find a new range. I definitely think it's possible we could find a range in between, say, at the very highest 94,000, but more likely 90, between like, you know, 90, and we could come all the way back down to 78,000. Like it even coming back down to 76,000 is totally in the books. So I would say, you know, extreme ranges between 76 and 94, but more likely, you know, lowest, or, you know, pretty low range would be 78K, and then, you know, on the higher end of the range would be about 90. So between 78 and 90, might be finding a new range there. I would be looking out for that. If we make a higher high here, we come down and then we bounce off to 78, that would tell me, you know, in mid-April, that if that's when it happens, that we would have a new range, and I would start trading the highs and the lows of that range. I would start longing the lows of the range and start shorting the highs of the range. Again, this is a resistance level. We got a lot of sticking points right here. Let me just draw out a couple more lines before we go. Let me get out my... Actually, I don't know if that's such a good idea. We don't really have a range yet. So I was going to bring out the volume visible range, but until we actually have a defined range, see, because this was the prior range, and we could have traded this, you know, it was probably about here, and then we had a clear bottom area of the range. You know, we definitely had some trades here we could have made in this range right here. So, but since we've come down here, we broke in the bottom of this range, we need to figure out exactly what the new range is. And again, my estimation, if we do range from here and we don't get a big move upward or, God forbid, downward, I think the range is roughly going to be between 78K and 90K. That's just my thoughts. That's my firmly held opinion at this point. This could all change. But yeah, those are the levels I'm looking at. I still, if I want to bring out this fib, my nearest point of interest right here is we're at 87,000. If we come up to 89,000, I have an alert set, and if I get that alert and prices come up to here, and all I'm going to do, and this is just me, don't take financial advice from me, but you can see this, the volume has gone down, right? As price is going upward, right? Draw a better line for you. So volume from here has been in a downtrend. It's been making lower highs, but the price has been making higher highs. That tells me at some point, these two diverging lines, price is going to have to come down. And since we already have a resistance level right here, and if we open up these again, yeah, nothing much up there. It might wick up to 90,000, but I'm thinking, you know, between 89.3 and 90,000 comes up to this area here. If we still have making lower highs, or if even we kind of stay at that would tell me we reach up to here, and then we probably come down. At which point I'll probably make another video, and just to keep you guys updated to what I'm looking at and what I think's happening. But let me just leave that fib open. So this is the level I'm looking at. I'm looking in between 89,334 and that resistance level I had, which was at 90K, which is right up here. So I'll be looking to take a short right here and ride that down. And then if that short goes in and it's in profit and I'm comfortable with it, I'll start looking at support levels, and I'll make another video to see how the trade is playing out and all that stuff. So I think that's it for today. Like, comment, subscribe if you like what you see. And if you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comments. I'd be more than happy to interact and answer any questions you might have. Beware all the comments in there that try to tell you, hey, can you help me get money out of something? Or, hey, can you help me do this? Or if somebody mentions a name like, hey, this is a great analogy, thank you. And they write this paragraph long thing that has 60 likes from bots, and they actually name somebody in particular, like, oh, Mike Johnson or David Campbell, like, he helped me, he saved my life, and then you'll have a bunch of bot comments. Just beware of that. It happens on every crypto channel. I am literally a nobody, and the first videos I've ever put up, I automatically get 2 comments from these. They're scammers, so just beware. Don't interact with anybody in the comments unless it's casual stuff. Don't do any deals, don't buy anything, don't follow definitely don't follow any links or anything like that. Anyways, that's it for the Bitcoin price live technical analysis for today. Chart sync out.